What is up, you guys? It is Tony Danilovich, or Nightmare, here to bring you another video game playthrough. Today we are going to be checking out some of my gameplay from Gears of War Ultimate, but what we're actually going to be talking about is the Gears of War 4 beta. There's a lot of stuff that I've been watching on people who got to play the early access beta. There's some pros, there's some cons. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think down below. I think it looks awesome, but I mean, I'm going to have to play and get the feel of it myself to see what I generally think. Because, I mean, I can see other people play it all day long, and I'll be like, oh, that's cool, they added that. But until I actually get the feeling of it when I'm playing it, I won't be able to actually judge it 100%. But it looks pretty cool to me. I was watching one gameplay, and it looked kind of fast, and then I realized that they were editing it, so I kind of calmed down, because I was panicking at first. I was like, oh no, I'm having Judgment flashbacks. It didn't look like Gears 1 through 3 at all, and I was like, man, haven't they learned anything? But we're safe. It was just a fluke. It was just someone who was doing some editing, so no worries there. But anyways, I am kind of bummed that there is an early access to the beta. I thought that it was pretty cool that we are going to be getting early access to the beta if we played Gears of War Ultimate last month. And I don't know what the cutoff date was, but there's some day you had to play a match by. So, me and all my friends, we played Gears Ultimate pretty good amount, so we were like, okay, no worries, we're all getting early access codes. But they did this thing where, I mean, they did it with a couple streamers. They were having streamers give out the codes. It was a promotional tool to have people come check out the streams and kind of just get hype going for the game. But there are all these gamers and people who got early access codes. So that kind of bummed me out because I was super excited that we were going to be getting it early, and then I kind of just had to watch other people play it, which, you know, I understand. They're trying to get hype going for the game, but we all were like, oh, hell yeah, we get to play it before everyone else, and then we get to see, you know, other people playing it now, but I understand. It's all good. Anyways, another thing that a lot of people are bummed on is there are no locusts. And, I mean, it makes sense. For the storyline, it makes sense. The way that it ended, there shouldn't be any locusts. And there's a new enemy. It's called, I'm pretty sure it's the Swarm, I think it was called. But anyways, they look awesome, and I think they're doing a good job. I mean, I wish that they would have made it to where you could play the Locust in multiplayer, kind of, just because, you know, why does it matter online? Like, it's not part of the campaign, so why couldn't they have added, like, maybe 3 different teams to choose from? They could have had, you know, the Cog, the Swarm, and the Locust. That would have been pretty badass if you could just choose whichever. But then again, it would have been like, it wouldn't have worked. Maybe if they could just do that in a couple playlists or something. I don't know how it could have worked, but was kind of bummed about that, but it does make sense. They're trying to look towards the future, and that's why they brought in these new enemies. They don't want to go back, they want to move forward. So, I understand. As for weapons, the Gnasher, the Lancer, the Hammerburst, there are these weapons, and one thing that we have not seen yet is the sawed-off shotgun. So, are they going to bring that back, or are they just going to say screw it and leave it out totally? Because some people would rather it wasn't in the game, period. But then again, Gears of War 3 was one of my all-time favorite Gears. I could play Gears of War 3 for the next 10 years, I'm sure, because that game will hold up. It's one of those games, never gets old, love the weapons, everything about that game was awesome. So, Gears 1 through 3, any of those games, I love them all. But what they did with Ultimate, I think, was perfect, because everyone was bummed from Judgment, and then they brought in Gears of War 1, remastered. Good idea, it was badass, super stoked on that, still play it to this day, until Gears of War 4 comes out. But another thing, there's so many things that we could touch on. Like, there's this new thing where when you kill somebody, blood goes all over your screen. Like, to the point of where it's almost hard to see, or you don't know if you're getting shot. Because when you get shot, you know, your blood starts increasing, show how much damage you're taking. Well, now, they have it to where if you get shot or you kill someone, blood goes everywhere. Kind of like, I think they might have did a little bit of that in the first Gears, I can't remember. But I don't know how I feel about that yet. Like I said, I'm going to have to play until I can, you know, feel for myself. Hopefully there's an option to turn that off. But like someone was saying before, I hope it doesn't turn off all of the mature content. Because, you know, we still want to hear them, like, say whatever they say and cuss and all that stuff. And we want some blood, we just don't want it to the point of where it's all over the fucking screen. We can't see anything. So who knows how that'll end up panning out. But like they said, this Gears of War, this is a real beta. This isn't just them, like, you know, putting a beta out there for us to play before the game comes out. They are testing the waters with this. They want to see what people like. They want to see what they don't like. They're going to change some damages for some of the weapons. This is a real beta. Not only are they trying to test the servers, but they're trying to test the game. So keep that in mind. If there is anything that you don't like, or there's something that's not registering right, maybe it will be fixed in the full game. So another person was saying the sniper wasn't registering. they don't know, you know, maybe it was just the way they were playing, but I watched some of the gameplay, and it shows the bullet trail goes straight through this dude's head. Nothing. So hopefully that ends up being fixed later on down the road if that is something they're having a problem with. But for modes, one thing that is awesome, I think anyways, they're adding some new stuff. One of the modes is dodgeball mode. And just like in dodgeball, when you kill a person from the other team, you bring back someone on your team. So it's just going to go back and forth, and I think that's awesome that they're adding something that could actually work. You know, sometimes they add new modes and then they just end up not panning out or people don't like them. But I think this one sounds pretty cool. I think it sounds fun, different from the norm, so I am excited about that. Another thing that I don't know if I agree with yet, I know a lot of people don't, and some people think it's cool, but right in the beginning, when you start your match, you can get active reload for your entire clip. You don't have to shoot a bullet, you just hit the active reload button, and if you get it, you have an entire clip of active reload right off the start. That gives you a pretty big advantage if you rush. You can just mob in, have all active reload. I don't even know how many shots from your Nasher, but over 8, whatever it is. So that's pretty ridiculous. I think you should have to still shoot a bullet and do it just because that's, I don't know, I'm old school, so who knows. Maybe they'll put that in the final product. They won't have that, but I guess we'll have to see what the fans say and what people think. I think that's kind of weird that you're getting active reload when you have a full clip. Just doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. I don't know why they did it. I'm not a game developer, so it doesn't matter. So as for the executions, there's these new executions where over the barrier before where you could vault kick someone in the face and then, you know, they're kind of stunned for a second and then you blow them up. Now there's executions to go along with that. You can go up to a cover that someone's over and you can drag them over cover and stab a dagger through their face. So it's pretty brutal. It's badass that they're adding some new executions and stuff like that. But you can actually counter it, which is nice because a lot of people were kind of worried. They're like, well, what am I going to do? Am I just screwed if someone runs up on me like that? And now I think it's just a button, like you have to push, say, B at a specific point when they're trying to do it. You just have to be fast enough to hit that button, and it will stop the execution. It will pull them over, and then you can perform the execution on them. So it's gonna take a little bit to get used to, I'm sure, with timing and everything. But once you get that down, it is going to be badass. So I'm hoping that ends up being pretty cool. It looks badass. And another person was saying that the way the game felt, that it was a mix between Gears 2 and 3. They said it felt like Gears 2, but a lot of the stuff they were bringing in felt like Gears 3. That would be amazing, because Gears of War 2 and 3, you know, are some of the best Gears there are. Gears 3 obviously played awesome, and just the feel of Gears 2, like, I don't know if there's wall cancel or not. I do like wall cancel, so I'm hoping that there is, because wall bouncing and everything like that. I watched the guy who was wall bouncing a little bit, so hopefully they don't mess with that too much, because experienced players that have been around Gears for a long time, they love that kind of shit. It gives them, if it's 1v4, it gives them a little bit of an advantage to at least attempt to kill the other team, because they can wall bounce around them, and it's pretty badass when someone clutches a match like that. So hopefully they do keep that. But anyways, from what I've seen, it looks awesome. I didn't get to see some of the new weapons, because I know they added, oh, that was pretty badass. That was just a random open scope I shot and blew that dude's dome off. But it's like a saw. I don't know what it is. It's not like the normal chainsaw, but it's kind of like the saw that you would see in like Dead Rising or whatever. It's like a power tool or something, and it looked pretty badass from the trailer. And if you guys haven't went and watched the previews or any of the new stuff on Gears of War 4, I definitely recommend doing that. I was going to add some of the gameplay and previews into this video that you guys are watching right now, but I didn't really want to copyright anything, and you know, I could throw in a few clips here and there, but I just don't know the rights and all that stuff on that type of thing, so I didn't want to risk it. I'm going to wait until I can play the beta for you guys Monday, and then I'm going to bring you some of my own gameplay so I'm not stealing somebody else's. Because I know a lot of people work hard on that stuff, and it's, you know, it's not fair for me to just randomly hit record, take their gameplay, and then show you guys. Even though it would be cool to show you what I'm talking about, we will wait until Monday, and then I will be bringing you guys multiple videos on Gears of War 4 beta. I'm going to play as much as I can. And another thing is, with the beta, we're going to be getting new things that will be unlocked in Gears of War 4 if you play the beta. If you hit max level, which I'm not sure if it was 20 or 40, maybe even 30. I think it was 20. I'll have to check that out. But if you do reach the max level that they are asking for, you might get a new character or some armor, or who knows what they're. It showed, but I can't really remember. All you have to do is type in, you know, Gears of War 4, the unlocks, and it will show you. So that is really cool, not only for the pre-orders, but if you reach max level, the perks and all the stuff that we're going to be getting. I love it when they do that type of thing, because the people that do put the time into the beta to help with the actual final product are going to be getting something out of it. And that's something that you're going to be stoked to have later on, because no one else, or people that didn't participate, aren't going to have that. So that is really cool. I love when they do that in these type of games, whether it's Halo, Call of Duty, Gears. It's badass that they do that. It's cool to do that for all the people who stuck around, were excited to play the beta, and helped out. But anyways, this is Tony Danilovich, or Nightmare. Let me know down below if you guys are excited for Gears of War 4, what your favorite Gears is, and what you would like to see in the final product of the game. Let me know if you've played the beta and what your thoughts are on it, some of the weapons, maybe if this needs to be changed, that needs to be changed. I think it looks pretty badass. I'm hoping that it's pretty balanced, but we all know there's going to be updates and some things are going to change, which is good and bad. Like with the new update for Gears of War Ultimate, it's me and my buddies are kind of bummed out right now because the shotgun is playing a little bit different. I don't know, we got to get used to it. It just sucks when you play a game for so long and you get really good at it, and then they make an update and then everything's changed. All your favorite weapons aren't doing damage, you're missing with this, missing with that, this has changed. But like we said, hopefully they can find a balance from this beta, and since we're going to be playing Gears 4 at the same time when it comes out, we will all be on the same learning curve. But anyways, this is Tony Danilovich, or Nightmare, signing off. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you in Gears of War 4.
More battles like this, and this